Good afternoon. My name is Robert Ronquillo, and I'm the Chief Justice of the Boston Municipal Court. Thank you for attending, albeit virtually, uh, this session. It's really important that we, as a community, speak to one another about what is happening in the community regarding justice, regarding uh, diversity and inclusion. Since our last meeting at the Roxbury Community College, there has been a lot of self reflection, I think, within the trial court about not just what we do, but the perception of what we do and how we do it. Um, as a person of color, I could relate to a lot of what was said at the Roxbury Community College. And I've come to realize that we've realized that it's important that the only way that our system can work and work well, and as well as it has, is by having the trust and confidence of the community. It is imperative that as a system, the people who appear before us trust us as judges and clerks and employees to know that we relate to the people who are before us. And part of that is understanding the backgrounds, understanding cultures, understanding languages. So, what we have done, I think one of the biggest things that we've done in the judiciary is to take a hard pause and look at ourselves and take a look to see what have we gotten right and where do we need to improve. And these dialogues between the community and the trial court, I think, are critical in us not just thinking about what we do right, but hearing from you, hearing from the community about what we do right, and allowing us to incrementally improve what we do. Um, After last year's Roxbury Community College event in the Boston Municipal Court, we went back and we had conversations, difficult conversations about what happens within the trial court and the Boston Municipal Court, why people feel the way they feel, and what we can do to improve them. I've been to be very honest with you. This COVID has really made it difficult to have the as meaningful conversations as we could, because me speaking to you by video does not relay really what I want to say, what we want to say in person. But for now, this is the way we're doing it, and that's the way we have to. But what we've done is, as a result of the pandemic, is spoken to little groups and had a self-reflection, judges, clerks, employees, about the impression of the court to the people who use the court. And to a person that I've spoken to within the Boston Municipal Court and the trial court, we've decided that it is imperative. It is so important that we, as employees, as public servants, treat other people, treat those who come before us for help, because that is why they're in court many times, with the respect, with the dignity, and the attention that they deserve, regardless of color, creed, religion, sexual orientation. That is who we are. As a justice system, it's imperative that we treat everyone fairly and justly. It's no coincidence that the statue of justice is blind, because we must treat people the same regardless. So what we've done now, what we're doing in the Boston Municipal Court, is establishing a training session for judges and hopefully to employees about reviewing and checking the interaction with the people in the court to see what impression we're giving and why they're getting that impression from us. Again, it is important that it's not just the impression, but the reality that everyone is treated fairly. A lot of what was said in the Roxbury Community College listening session was borne out by the Harvard study, which finds racial disparity in the criminal justice system. And that's a reality. And it's a opportunity for us as a trial court to review what exactly is it that's causing these disparities. what within the system can we change so that not only do people not feel like they're not being treated fairly, but in fact are treated fairly. That sentences are similarly imposed, that bails are similarly imposed, um, and that is, I think, one of the benefits of the Harvard study. We can't fix anything unless we know what's wrong, and to me, at least, the Harvard study is this is a indication of what we need to look at, and it's not that's not people's impressions. That's a reality. So it's important that we look at it and then move forward. One of the things that I'm very grateful for is the fact that we're actually having this conversation. Several years back, this wouldn't have never happened. We're not where we are. I mean, excuse me, we're not where we used to be, but we're far from where we need to be. And incrementally we'll get there. We will, it's these difficult conversations. It is this dialogue and sometimes disagreements that we have to have in order to reach that ground, that place where we as a system are not only fair, but are perceived as fair, that people receive justice regardless of what they look like. Um, it's important that we as court leaders advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in our departments. Um, and one of the things that we're doing, and I'm very proud of this, is the fact that we're making sure that there's a diverse pool of candidates in every position that is made available. Personally, I encourage people to apply. I've spoken to law students, to lawyers, and other lay people when there's a position available um, to apply, because only by having a pool that reflects our community can we select people that will reflect the community. I think it is critical that when people go into a courtroom or a courthouse, that the people who work there reflect the community they serve in. Candidly, that's not where we're at yet. However, with these kinds of uh, communications, with these kinds of conversations, and these kinds of thought processes, I truly believe that we can get to that point where our courts reflect the community we serve in. It is important that this work not stop. It's important that we continue pushing it. It's important that we continue being uncomfortable in the change, because change is hard, but change is good. This change is good. And as Chief Justice of the Boston Municipal Court, I am committed to, and I will commit to continue making this change and it's an improvement, so that whenever anyone comes to any of our Boston Municipal Court divisions, when they walk in, they know and they feel that they are treated fairly, justly, and equitably. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Take care.